So we're well into winter, it's 2022. I thought it'd be a great time to do an updated EDC for everybody. I don't have a ton of updates and changes for this one, but a few new things I wanted to talk about and a few older things that I wanted to give some updates on. Before we get into it, I want to thank the sponsor of today's video, and that is Superhuman. They make an incredible email client focused on getting to inbox zero. We'll be talking about them a little bit later, but without any further ado, let's dive into the EDC. I've officially brought back my Shinola wallet. If you've been around the channel for a long time, you know I carried this thing for years. I picked it up in 2015 and have always loved it. The folks at Wayfinder ended up sending me a wallet last year, so I had been trying that the last few seasons and really enjoying it, but I wanted to pull this back out and give it another shot. I was just looking for some changes and updates. This one's a little bit more of a full-fledged wallet compared to the smaller, more minimal Wayfinder wallet. Both are great, but I do love all of the patina from the years of use on the Shinola wallet, and Shinola just always has a soft spot for me. They're based in Detroit. They were a big part of the revival that's going on in Detroit, which I absolutely love. I know a lot of people give them hate for their quartz watches being overpriced, but their leather goods are excellent. I've had this for so many years and it's still holding up strong. Next up though, I do have a new item. I had finally broke down and spent the cash on a Benchmade bug out. I know this is a long-standing favorite in the EDC community. I picked this up a couple weeks ago though, and initial impressions are very good. It is impossibly light. You know, I did hear that before I picked it up. I think it's because the scales are made of plastic, I believe, which, depending on how you look at it, is a pro or a con. I like the lightweight knives because you can kind of forget about them in your pocket. It's also really lightweight for me to carry for backpacking and camping and hiking and all that sort of stuff. I do have a fixed blade, like full tang Gerber knife that I usually take for like bushcraft stuff when I'm camping, but for backpacking, you know, the grams really matter. So I like having something really lightweight. But yeah, initial impressions are great with this thing. It's made in Portland too, which is really cool. I always like to try and support some local companies whenever I can. Portland is a big knife mecca for a lot of these big brands. I'm gonna look into possibly getting some titanium scales or swapping out some things just for fun mostly. If you have any recommendations on that too, you know, I'm newer into the world of knives, so I'd love to hear if you have any thoughts or recommendations or opinions for me. Moving on from there, still keeping the mask around, obviously, no way around that now as we round into year 3 of all of this mess. I've still got the Air mask. You know, they sponsored, I think, the last EDC video I did. This thing is awesome though. I ended up accidentally debadging it. If you can see on the overhead camera, I've got 2 little holes here. There were rubber pieces that said Air, and then they had the left and the right markers so you know which orientation for it. One of them fell off. I lost it. I can't find it, so I ended up taking the other one. I like the debadged look, but I do miss having that left and right thing. But overall, even with that aside, this thing is super comfortable, looks great. Definitely the best mask I've tried over the past few years, and would still highly recommend it if you're looking for a more premium step-up mask for the long term. From there, another long-standing piece of kit that I've had, the Orbit key organizer. I still continue to like this thing. I was looking around at a few other options to potentially try for the updated EDC videos. You know, I'm always looking for new stuff to try and test for all of you. And I didn't really come up with much that seemed like it would be a better option than this. The longer I have this, the more I really do like it. It's the crosshatch. It's a Saffiano leather I got. It was their blackout edition. Yeah, it's been really great. You know, there was some issues. I had mentioned in a previous video that it was loosening up a bit over time. I haven't had any issues with that since, so maybe it just finally settled in. I've had it for about a year now, I think. But yeah, really good quality, nice and simple. It works really easily. I did have another request from all of you though. Has anyone tried the Quiet Carry key organizer? It looked great and I loved the aesthetics of it, but there were some mixed reviews on the actual use and practicality of it. So if anyone has experience with that, let me know in the comments because it looks really cool. I'd love to pick it up. I actually want to pick up and try one of their knives too, but knives will probably come later. I think they're all sold out last I checked, but if you have experience with that Quiet key organizer, let me know. That thing looks so cool, but I'm just worried about spending the money if it doesn't work well. From there, I have my AirPods Pro. I picked these up during all of the sales around November, I think, last year. You know, if you've been around the channel for a while, you know the Gen 1 AirPods fit my ears the best. These weren't quite as good of a fit, but still good enough, and the sound quality and all the extra features kind of made up for the slightly worse fit. I tried the Gen 3 regular AirPods and those didn't work at all for me. Picked these up and have really liked them. The fit still isn't perfectly ideal for me, to be honest. I have some sinus issues sometimes, and if I have like a bunch of sinus pressure, I feel like my right ear doesn't fit them as well. But all in all, though, I still can't complain. The sound quality is amazing. I love all the noise canceling stuff, the form factor, the battery life. It's all been great other than that fit. I just wish it was the Gen 1 AirPods fit with all of the features of the Pros. I also have just a really basic case on here. It's kind of a faux leather finish. It has some really nice texture to it. I think it was like $9 or $10 on Amazon. It was mostly an aesthetic choice for me to get this. You know, I don't really need the extra protection for most scenarios, but it's great to have it just as a just in case, and they look way nicer and cooler in my opinion. But yeah, still been happy with this, and I still think they are on that $189 sale. So if anyone is still on the fence about picking up some AirPods, get them while they're on sale. But they are probably going to announce and release some new ones. That's my guess for why they've been discounted for so long. Another Apple product, I have also been keeping an AirTag in my Sling bag. It's just a nice little extra piece of security. You never know. I spent a lot of time walking around the city. You know, you might get mugged, you might leave your bag somewhere. It's just a nice little peace of mind thing. If anything happens, I have a much better chance of tracking down my bag and any of my important stuff that I carry with me. So I've had this for a while. They're $30 each or $100 for a 4-pack. It's great just to throw in, extra little peace of mind thing. It syncs with my iPhone really well. Yeah, just kind of a no-brainer extra thing to throw in there and forget about. As you've noticed, a lot of times I'm not carrying a backpack around with me anymore in favor of carrying the Slings. They're just a little bit smaller and more convenient and kind of fit my current needs more. You know, back when I was walking to and from work every day, I needed to carry a lot more stuff with me, but nowadays work from home, don't need to bring much with me. But a lot of times I am going to the grocery store, or you know, my wife and I are going out to eat and might have carry out. I like to keep an extra reusable bag with me. I picked these up last year sometime. It was like a 5-pack of just black reusable bags. They fold into a little built-in pouch that they have. Not much to say about them. It's like a ripstop fabric, so I'm sure it has some sort of water resistance, but these have been pretty good for being just inexpensive reusable bags. Not much to say about them, but they work really well. Another thing I always keep with me is a handkerchief. An update on my last EDC video, I did a blackout EDC and tried some black handkerchiefs. They were like sweat absorbing hankies, so they weren't really designed for nose blowing and like allergies and stuff that I use them for. After using those for a couple of months, I just really wasn't a big fan for how I usually use the hankies. I think they're great for what they market them for, and I actually still use them around the house and when I'm hiking and stuff to absorb sweat and just kind of work as a giant microfiber towel. But the regular hankies, you just can't beat it for blowing your nose, so I'm bringing these back. I still have yet to find a proper replacement for these that have the same level of softness. I got these at a department store like 8 years ago, and I just can't find anything better. So the hunt continues. Any recommendations that you have would be greatly appreciated. Next up, I've got my Sling, still carrying the City Sling 2. This thing is small, easy, compact, looks great, kind of fits that tech wear minimalist vibe that I try and go for most of the time. Absolutely love this thing. The only real complaint is that it doesn't fit my water bottle that well, but I have been thinking about getting a memo bottle or something to fit in here a little bit better. But yeah, no complaints. I love the organization in here. I love the design. This thing is built like a tank. Definitely not going anywhere anytime soon. One thing I forgot to put on the table, I have my phone, still rocking the iPhone 12 Pro Max. This is the first year I haven't upgraded. In the past, I've done yearly upgrades. The 12 Pro Max has been working so well for me. I just decided to keep it for another year. So far, so good. I haven't had any longer term issues. The camera is still excellent. You know, I used it exclusively as my photography camera last year on all of my backpacking and camping trips. Excellent image quality. I actually have 2 out of my 4 framed photos back here were taken with this camera. So even in a larger format, it's still perfectly acceptable resolution and image quality. I just love the fact that phones have gotten so good, and it's not even specifically to this phone. Any modern smartphone takes such great photos. Coming from a photographer, just lean into the smartphone photography over getting a proper big camera, unless you're really looking to get clients and make money and go that route. But just as a hobbyist, I absolutely love just having my phone. So take that for what it is. A few other items on my person to cover and talk about, but before we get into that, I want to thank the sponsor of today's video, and that is Superhuman. Superhuman has made an incredible email client that is really focused around saving you time and hassle and energy and getting you to inbox zero on a regular basis with ease. I've been using it for about the past month, and it has been a complete joy, and I really can't see myself going back to the standard Mac Mail app anytime soon. When you sign up for Superhuman, they set you up with an appointment with an onboarding specialist. They take you through and show you how the service works. They show you some of the shortcuts and commands and the seemingly endless amount of features that they've built into the service. It was a really nice premium touch, and you can really see the passion behind the team that has created it. Superhuman is powered by some advanced AI that helps sort through kind of the junk and the important emails. I've always been kind of hesitant about this in the past with other email clients because I feel like the filtering doesn't work that well. This is the first service I've used that actually seems to understand and do the filters properly and put the things I actually want to see in the important tab and put everything else in the other tab. It's designed entirely around using keyboard shortcuts, which makes everything feel really seamless and nice and fast. The more I dive into it, the more I find they have things called snippets, which can be commonly used phrases or entire emails. If you're repeating yourself a lot, you can save a lot of time and just insert those really quickly and go on to the next email. You can schedule emails to go out at different times if you're working with people in different time zones. You can kind of send an email away if you know you won't need to access it for a few weeks. You can set a reminder for yourself and it'll pop back into your inbox in a day or a month or next year or February. It's very intuitive. They have profiles on all of your email clients. It'll aggregate their social media profiles so you can get a little bit of info about who you might be talking to. That is just the tip of the iceberg on what they've implemented in here. I didn't even mention yet, the UI is incredible. It's nice and simple. I wanted to put this here. If you're into minimalist design, you're going to love Superhuman. I've been so impressed the past month of using it, and I think it really has changed how I'm going to be doing my emails from now on. Be sure to check them out if any of this sounds interesting to you. I'll be sure to put some links in the description below. Huge thanks to them for sponsoring this week's video. All right, back to the EDC. I did recently pick up a new watch that so many of you have reached out and commented on and asked about already. It really blows my mind how much you guys all pay attention to what I'm wearing and doing on here. I sometimes forget that there are other people on the other side of this lens. I picked up this Casio digital watch a while back and just absolutely love it. I wanted to kind of change up the style a bit and try out a few other things. I think it was like $16 or $20 or something, super inexpensive. I really love it though. I think it looks really cool. It kind of has that retro tech wear vibe, which I am into. It's an illuminating watch. It has a stopwatch. It's nice to have a watch that you're okay with breaking if it comes down to it. Camping and backpacking and stuff, you can scuff or scrape or damage stuff all the time. So I really like it for that aspect, but even just for around town use, I think it looks really cool. It's been kind of nice and convenient having a digital watch again compared to an analog one. I'm one of the few people that wears a watch to actually tell the time. I try and not get my phone out as much as possible. So yeah, this thing has been really cool. I don't remember the exact model, but I'll leave a link in the video description. Next up, I have my ring. It's from a company called Titanium Buzz. I don't know if they have the exact same one. I'll find it if they do though. Wedding ring. Not much else to say about that. My hat is a discontinued 5-panel hat from Reigning Champ. I found thrifting. This thing is all faded. I did try and dye it based on a few of your recommendations. I don't know if the dye really set in. It's still pretty faded. My glasses are from Salt Optics. I had these back in 2017. Still going strong. I need to replace the lenses though. They are all scratched up from wear and tear and throwing them in bags and not taking care of them properly, but they still work 5 years. I think the style is great too. But I think that is everything. Let me know if you have any questions about any of this stuff. I put out a few requests I would love some answers if anyone has experience. Let me know any bug out, customization, mod recommendations you might have. Let me know if you've tried the Quiet Carry Key Organizer. That's something I've been checking out. Let me know what your setup is looking like right now. I'd love to hear that. I really enjoy doing these, and you all seem to, based on how many of you watch this series. So thank you all so much for the support, and I'll talk to you in the next one.